Welcome to Unfiltered with Sam. Today we'll be hosting Rabbi Yisroel Dovid Weiss, a groundbreaking guest for a podcast from my region. Before we get into the interview, I'd like to ask you all if you find the content of our new channel interesting, being it's produced right here in the Eastern Mediterranean and the Middle East. Please like, subscribe, and share to help us reach more people. Your support really, really means a lot. So now off to our guest. Rabbi Yisroel Dovid Weiss is an American Haredi rabbi and a prominent spokesperson for Neturei Karta, an anti-Zionist Jewish group. The rabbi's short bio will be found in the interview description below. You will also be able to find the link to Neturei Karta's website in the interview description. I encourage you to visit their website where all your questions about Neturei Karta will be answered. Especially look at the links of the mission statement and the question and answer links. They offer clear and concise explanations to address most common doubts. So Rabbi Weiss, welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor and privilege to be on your channel, and especially being that it is focused in the Middle East, and of course, with God's help, inshallah, it goes throughout the world. So it's really critical, I hope, with God's help, that it will be understood and therefore help to remedy inshallah, the quagmire, this terrible bloodshed that we are seeing, that is ongoing at this moment. Yeah.
God willing, Rabbi, inshallah. I'd like to go to another issue that also affects us greatly, or affects the Arabs in the region greatly, considering how Netanyahu and others in Israel frequently reference to the map of Greater Israel, which includes basically all of Palestine, all of Lebanon, all of Jordan, half of Syria, and vast parts of Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. What's your message in brief to the people in those regions affected regarding the vision of that this map portrays?
Again, the Judaism and their leadership are the ones who are true to the Torah. We don't aspire not only for the greater map or whatever you may call it, but not for 1 centimeter, not 1 centimeter of Jewish rule over any part of this world, and certainly not in Palestine, as we've been put under oath by God not to attempt to reestablish a Jewish sovereignty in any shape or form. We do, as I said, aspire, and we pray constantly for God's glory to be recognized around the world. We're all, like it says, there's a verse that says, all the nations will come together one day. They will come together and join arms and serve God in harmony. That's what we aspire for. We believe God will build the temple, but it will be at the time, it will be through the will of all humanity will be serving God in harmony. If you go to the United Nations, on the wall of the United Nations, if I could find, we have there's the Isaiah Wall. Maybe you're acquainted with that. It's called the Isaiah Wall, where on the wall of it's a conclave wall right across from the United Nations, where there's etched into the wall a verse of Isaiah, the prophet Isaiah, where it says the nations will beat their swords into plowshares. One nation will not pick up a sword against another nation. There will be peace. I can't find it at the moment. There will be peace in the world. All the wolf and the sheep will lie together in peace. So we aspire for that day where there will be coexistence in the world and a total peaceful unity. But we know, and it's clear to any Jew who's a practicing Jew, true to the religion, that we are not in any shape or form to have the state of Israel. It's totally contradictory to us. So this aspiration, for whatever it may be, is simply a Zionist. But they won't have it. It won't happen. It happens to be that since the creation of the state of Israel, if you look, there was never 10 years of peace.
Yeah.
And why? In the Torah, it states clearly. It says in the Torah, "Why are you rebelling against me?" I found the picture. This is I don't know if you can see. This is actually distributed by the United Nations. They have a wall that's like it's called conclave. It's shaped like that around. It's a beautiful big wall, and it's etched into the wall. They shall beat their swords into plowshares, their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up swords against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. It's in Isaiah. And the sheep and they continue, the sheep and the wolf will rest together. But this day will come. That's what we aspire for, but not to have any this. And in the Torah, it says, God says to the people, why are you rebelling against me? It will not be successful. The state of Israel have short term, maybe to have success, but in the long term, they will disappear. It cannot be, because they are rebelling against God. It is unacceptable to have, even if it would be a Jewish state, but it's not a Jewish state. It's a heretical entity of nationhood. So there's a saying they're going to take over the Temple Mount, which is another of these claims, and they're going to take over the Temple Mount, or they're going to go into, I don't know, whatever despicable claims they have to go into take over some other nation. It won't happen. It's against God, and there will be an end to this. We pray to God that God should end this rebellion against him without any further bloodshed, speedily and peacefully. But it will end.
Inshallah. Before I go to my final question, I'd like to mention something. I noticed you're wearing some sort of attire. You're always wearing the Palestinian drab,
Yes.
but you're wearing a regalia that it portrays Lebanon, the Lebanese flag, the cedar. So
yes.
do you wanna tell me something about it? Have you visited Lebanon?
Yes. Well, thank God through the years, I've had the honor and privilege to be what people call the Eden, the Garden of Eden of the Middle East. I've gone there a good few times, I would say. Mostly, of course, it was always because we were trying to demonstrate and speak up for the people of Palestine. There was a march to Jerusalem and so forth. We went there. I have just, I didn't realize I'll be talking about this, but I have like a few pictures. We have a picture of international delegation attending the global march to Jerusalem in South Lebanon. This was by a march. This was in
when was this?
2002, and so we spoke here. I could tell you that I went to visit to Sabra Shaltila. We went to visit Sabra Shaltila, the prison camps at that time. Here you have a picture of my teacher, my esteemed
Sabra Shatila. They are in southern Beirut. It's the refugee camps where which house the more or less 300 to 350,000 Palestinian refugees who left due to the Nakba in 1948. They're very close to the area to the Dahi area.
Right. I also went to visit we went to visit the refugee camp of Baja Barajna, and they presented me with the key. I carry it in my pocket all the time. It's to show that their heart is yearning to return to their homes in Jerusalem, and we are with them, and God will help one day, inshallah. There will be Al Quds, they could go back to their homes in a free Palestine. So we went to visit, and we cried with them, we felt with them, we hurt with them. We have many other, we had we went to the synagogues that were and the Jewish, and we went to Sidon. We went to visit the Al Hayat, I believe, if I'm the prison camp where they tortured the captives of Israel. That these Israel Hayat, what is it called? Do you remember? Maybe you remember, and the Israeli destroyed it in the last attack on Lebanon a few years ago. Well, they had a prison camp. We went to the border where we were able to look across the border to occupied Palestine, and we made a demonstration there. Our Jewish delegation, we made a demonstration. We were quite nervous that they shouldn't shoot at us by mistake. Of course, by mistake. Everything is by mistake. Yeah, but we went and we demonstrated against them over there, while our brothers were demonstrating in Jerusalem and Al Quds against Israel from inside. We demonstrated from that side, like have a joint demonstration against them. And basically, the people, I must say that in our visits in Lebanon, I went to in Egypt and I could say all over, whether it was Iran or Egypt and on and on and on in Jordan, the people, the Muslim people, the Arab community, and in Lebanon, they were so friendly to us, and they had such big hearts, even though they had suffered so much. We went to the refugee camps where they're living in squalor, and the generations living there, and even though they suffered so much, they had enough place in the heart to embrace us and understand that it's not our religion, and it's not it's not a religious issue. It has to do with the satanic evil occupation, and they're looking forward that we should be once again able to coexist as we've had for so. And many of the people did hear stories from their parents and grandparents about wherever the land they lived, like in Lebanon, like how they lived together and helped each other.
Yes,
And
coexistence.
the coexistence was beautiful, was so beautiful, harmonic. And so why can't it go on? Why can't the world step in and stop this brutality, this injustice, this inhumane? It's beyond words. God will help. It has to end.
Only with God's help, Rabbi. Only with God's help. We can only pray for that. So, in your visit to Lebanon, you were exposed a lot, primarily to the Palestinians living there. But did you also have contact with Lebanese citizens, and how did they welcome you? How did they treat you?
Well, as I say, I was there with a good few times and for many days, and therefore I had I met constantly rubbing shoulders with and meeting with Lebanese citizens, and across the board, everybody was so exceptionally nice. And although it's in Wikipedia or something, although it's falsely, a lot of things is full of mistakes over there about me also, and but they did mention that there was when the United States moved their embassy to Jerusalem. So they made a big from hundreds of from almost 200 countries. They had representatives coming there, and we went there and we spoke, and we met there with the leadership of Hezbollah, and it wasn't the first time, by the way. We had been there a few times, and they always embraced us unabashedly. They said on the stage, and they said we embraced, and they said we are not opposed to Jews. We are not opposed to Judaism, not opposed to Jews. We want to coexist. But of course, just like when our Jewish people, our rabbis are being brutally beaten in Palestine, the world is silent. They're being brutally beaten. Rabbis, leaders, esteemed children, and esteemed rabbis, and the world just ignores as if we don't exist. Instead of respecting, like you would respect the Pope of when you want to ask a question of Christianity, you would think you would turn to the Jewish communities and say, what if your opinion says that Zionism in the state of Israel is not integral and it's not part of Judaism? Hear our voices. And why aren't you hearing the voices of the Jews who are being beaten? The same thing when Hezbollah and Hamas and all these organizations, they're pleading with the world that have pity on the people of Palestine, have pity on the people of Lebanon. We want to live in peace. We're not anti-Semitic. That's a disgusting ploy, a disgusting weapon of Zionists that are the personification and the true picture of anti-Semitism. In fact, the fact is they're killing, and they're causing the bloodshed, and they're causing the exacerbation of hate of Jews, of mistreatment of Jews. So what could be more symbolic and expressive of anti-Semitism than the Zionist state of Israel? It's ironic, and one day it will end. It will end. We only hope speedily and peacefully. God should help.
Rabbi Weiss, my final question, and it's a very important question. What message do you have for the people of Lebanon regarding their current struggles, as well as for the Palestinians in light of the existential struggles they are facing?
Yeah, well, there's no words to bring to the people who have just witnessed their relatives murdered and the suffering they're going through. But we can only say that from the depth of our heart, we have from our brothers and Jewish brothers and sisters that are on the occupation in Palestine to the Jews around the world. And thank God I do travel around the world. I've been to I go to South America, gone to Europe, even now in the last few months, constantly going. All our communities around the world, we are crying and hurting. We are praying and urge everybody to pray to God with his compassion. He's the ruler of the world ultimately. He should bring an end immediately to the suffering but you should just know that we are doing this. We are crying, hurting, we have fast days. And at the same time, we are attempting as much as we can to go out on the streets tirelessly. And I could tell you tirelessly, I'll just give you in very short an example. We're not allowed to use cars, as I mentioned at the beginning of this on the Sabbath. So, and many of the demonstrations, the major demonstrations, for instance, Trafalgar Square in England, in London, or in Times Square in New York, we have to walk for like 3 hours just because we're not allowed to use cars, just to get to the demonstration. We stood there for hours in the heat, in the cold, and then we walk back. We're talking about sometimes 9 to 12 hours simply for demonstrating that the people should hear our voice. And I want to add, there would be tens of thousands of more Jews demonstrating, and maybe hundreds of thousands more, if it wouldn't be for the brutal attacks that happen in Jerusalem and Al-Quds and the people of Palestine who want to speak up. The Jewish people want to speak up, but they're brutally attacked. And besides which, around the world, in our communities, my car has been smashed. My car is slashed. We get death threats. There was so many more people would be standing out there demonstrating if it wouldn't be for the intimidation of the Zionists. And unfortunately, the world ignores what they're doing, and they're not they're not taken to task for their anti-Semitism. And it's ironic. You can find on the campuses, and you'll find around the world that if you'll see that there's tens of thousands of Jews who are through that all, they're demonstrating as well. So I want the people of Lebanon to know we are hurting with you. We're crying with you. We hope, we pray, we're looking to the day that you should have freedom, and the people of Gaza, the people of Palestine, every one of you should have freedom. There should be no more refugee camps in Lebanon. It should be all free. Everybody should be able to return to their homes. We are with you. And we hope you could spread our word, and we are looking so much forward to embrace you. And at the same time, again, we urge everybody to remember, at the end of the day, we are believers in God. God is compassionate. We don't know why he brings a tsunami, a plague. We don't understand his ways. And we pray to him constantly. We urge you, continue to pray. Don't give up hope. We will someday see a free Palestine. God should help, inshallah, soon in our days.